arena floor dotted with ways to score points, knocking barrels over, getting a sphere into the illuminated pit, up and over the bridge. Plenty of ways to score points, and you'll need to.
From Lincoln, seed number 30, Stinger.
They lasted just 50 seconds in the last wars, but they're back with a speedy machine up to 18 miles an hour, custom-made wheels fashioned from motorbikes, and they have an axe if necessary.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Now, every robot so far has gone towards the barrels. 5 points for each barrel knocked down, but not Stinger, goodness me, very nearly into the pit and out. Were they going for the bridge, I wonder? Too sure. There's the axe trying to knock barrels down now. Need to get points on the board. They have scored 0. 10 now. 5 points for each barrel and into the pit. Can they get themselves out? They can. Nudged in there by Dead Metal. You can get up and over the bridge with a completed run. You scored 20 points. There's the 50-point target. That's well done. Dodging in behind Bash. That's steady stuff so far then from Stinger, from Lincoln. And there's the multi-ball release. Again, 10 points for the release. Every ball into a pit will get you another 5 points. Dodging Dead Metal, and Killerhurtz behind you. Killerhurtz has the freedom of the arena floor. A great narrow-shaped axe blade swings backwards and forth like a pendulum. Steady, not spectacular. 50 points though, the key there. That was the highlight of the run, notching up 50 points to rescue an otherwise drab performance. Yes, the multi-ball released. They seemed unsteady over decision-making. Which way to go on the arena floor? Losing their bearings too often. The judges go 75 points for Stinger, not enough to upset the leaders' Hypnodisc.
From Lincoln, we have Stinger, designed by 3 engineers. The motors are in here. When it slows down, that's when the arm flips over, and if it puts it into reverse, you get a real sting from that. Ouch.
From Lincoln, seed number 30, Stinger.
They had steering problems in Series 3, went straight into a pit after 50 seconds. This is a spinning, whirling dervish with a venomous axe, customised motorbike wheels, a top speed of 18 miles an hour, and it's seeded 30. Very quick across the arena floor, but when the wheels stop, the axe comes down with mighty power. Virtually indestructible, difficult to get hold of. Difficult to steer, yes, but when it spins, look at the power of that axe once again. Watch out for Stinger. This one's going to go very close in the Annihilator.
This is Carl Skinner, and I'm Kevin Scott from the Stinger team. We've got a really strong robot here, but we're up against 6 of the toughest robots in the series. We're going to go in there, we're going to give them hell, and we're going to kill them.
Roboteers, stand by.
Plenty of opposition, though, from Suicidal Tendencies and Spikasaurus there. And Stinger, of course. All 3 teams together in the one cabin. Suicidal Tendencies on the left. There's big Stuart Pearson of Spikasaurus and Carl Skinner of Stinger. Dominator 2, the Cambridgeshire team. They all work together. And Killerhurtz, the reigning domestic champions, Chaos 2. There's George Francis on the right-hand side. Killerhurtz in the middle. Dominator 2 on the left.
3, 2, 1.
This is going to be chaos. Good luck, everyone. There's Chaos 2 immediately on the attack. Dominator 2 in there as well with a big action. Dominator 2 flicked up on its side by Suicidal Tendencies. Suicidal Tendencies nearly went over at the same time. Let's have a look at it again. Chaos 2 in the midst of it all. Up went Dominator 2 and over. Suicidal Tendencies very nearly flicked up, but don't forget, it can work both sides up the track. Suicidal Tendencies, there's Killerhurtz with its axe as well. You can see Bash retreating into its CPZ, and why not? Stinger with the axe in there as well. Chaos 2 with the CO2-powered battering ram. Dominator 2's okay. Whoa, there's the reigning champions, Chaos 2, slamming in on Suicidal Tendencies. Killerhurtz is in there as well. Here comes Dominator 2, bottom of your picture. Now it seems to me that Spikasaurus is in a little bit of trouble, but okay now. Goodness me, look at that. There's Spikasaurus in there. You've got Chaos 2 as well. Dominator 2, the bottom of your picture. Stinger doing its own thing as it's wont to do. That's Spikasaurus in major trouble. seems to be that Killerhurtz is holding on. Tendencies comes in. Stinger now under threat from Chaos 2. Turning away. And Spikasaurus has been impaled by the axe. Killerhurtz 2! Flicked over by Dominator 2. Axe to axe. Metal to metal. Bash and crash. Smash. What is happening out there? The hopes and dreams about to be scuttled have won in the Annihilator. It's Killerhurtz up on its side and bounce. And just about came down okay, using its axe to right itself. Almost Killerhurtz, then in goes Spikasaurus. Killerhurtz, okay now. Stinger in with a slam on Chaos 2. Chaos 2 in underneath Killerhurtz again. They think Killerhurtz is the vulnerable machine. Chaos 2 against the arena wall and is impaled, is it? Can George Francis get that flipper off? Well, Dominator 2, a little nudge helped out. The object, boys, is to destroy each other. I wonder if Dominator 2 will rue that little bit of friendship. Look at the crashing of the axes. The flipper there. You've got Suicidal Tendencies trundling. Once again, Killerhurtz trying to right itself into the CPZ, flicked in there by Chaos 2. And so far for me, Killerhurtz has been the most punished robot. It's into the CPZ, it's stuck in there. And Killerhurtz trying to flick, trying to turn itself over with that pneumatically powered axe. But Killerhurtz in major trouble. Chaos 2 comes in with a slam. And bam! And Killerhurtz 2, I think, is going to be first to go in the Annihilator. Each round, one crashes out, piggyback up on Chaos 2 as it immobilized for 30 seconds or more. If it goes to the judges, the rest of them just staying out of trouble. Bash comes in for a look. There's Dominator 2 with the pickaxe. This Stinger loves a little bit of a rumble and a tussle. Sometimes I don't know what the Stinger boys are doing. I don't think they know what they're doing either. Dominator 2 out there. Chaos 2 as well. Killerhurtz, well, back in the thick of the action. And we still have all 6 competing. Chaos 2 takes punishment right through the front flipper there from Dominator 2. The wheels of the Dominator spin, but Chaos 2 is in all sorts of problems now. Top of the picture, Spikasaurus and Suicidal Tendencies. In comes Dominator again. And suddenly it's the Chaos top seeds, the reigning UK champions, who are up against it. Now we've got to push and shove. At top of the picture, they're Dominator 2 and Spikasaurus. Killerhurtz, I thought they were out, but they're back in really in the thick of things. So are Chaos 2 now. You've got the house robots into play in that CPZ. Look at this, a real tug of war here, and still they battle on bravely. Not one machine will give up, but Chaos 2 has taken unprecedented damage from the axe of Killerhurtz. Look at this again, it's Dominator 2 inflicting punishment, 1 and 2, and the Perspex comes off the bat there of Chaos 2, which means now, of course, the machinery, the very heart of Chaos, is vulnerable to attack. Dominator 2 lifts that Perspex lid up like some grisly scalp trophy. Chaos 2, they're all after the reigning UK champions, it seems. They're ganging up. Get rid of the strongest machine, get rid of the favourite. We'll gang up and we'll see who goes through. Dominator 2 in space, about to come in for an attack, but Chaos 2. George Francis, I don't think he knows what's hit him. You've now got Shunt in there to create more damage. Stinger, the axe comes battering down on Shunt, but it's Chaos 2. All of a sudden, the likely machine to go out of the first stage of the Great Annihilator, the northern section. In goes Spikasaurus to try and push Suicidal Tendencies out of the melee, out of the mayhem. Chaos 2 is their movement, is their life. Goodness me, I don't think there was. He doesn't either.
Roboteers, stand by.
The famous 5 for our overhead camera, Suicidal Tendencies and Spikasaurus. And then, of course, that mad thing, Stinger. The team again in the same cubbyhole. There's Carl Skinner on the right-hand side, Stuart Pearson. And then Andrew, Jeffrey and Charles Binns with Suicidal Tendencies. There's Dominator 2. Looked good, didn't it? And Killerhurtz, slightly vulnerable, but the axe came into play. A little bit more room in their cubbyhole. Dominator 2 on the right. And John Reed at the controls of Killerhurtz.
2, 1, activate.
I wonder if 9-year-old Richard Swan from Chaos 2 has passed on his lucky stone to someone else. Stinger, perhaps. Immediately punished and a little bit lucky to survive, some might say. The drive from Killerhurtz into the CPZ. Stinger now arriving on the scene in the middle of the melee. You've got Spikasaurus to the left-hand side. Dominator 2 again, this time clutching hold of Stinger almost on the axle. Spikasaurus trying to get those two front ramming, prodding spikes underneath the opponents. Then there were 5. This is Killerhurtz under pressure from Dominator 2 with the bi-wedge shape. Impressive so far. The axe comes down on Killerhurtz and on the arena floor. There you've got Spikasaurus, game so far, attacking Killerhurtz up by the CPZ, and the others have sent here. Then Killerhurtz can again be in trouble. Look at the axe, it smacks straight down through the split in the, well, see-through shell of Killerhurtz, and you can see all in there now, in grisly detail. Killerhurtz freeing itself with its own axe. Not the first time we've seen that in the Annihilator. It's dogged and determined, to say the least. Spikasaurus' game, isn't it? Unwise to take on the Sergeant in the big game, though. Stinger's axe comes down. They've stayed out of trouble. In fact, we haven't seen a great deal of them. I wonder, you know, if that initial onslaught affected Stinger. We're going to check on the manoeuvrability of it in a minute. Meanwhile, the Sergeant comes in and attacks. Poor old Killerhurtz. Everyone's been after them. Yes, Killerhurtz pins its axe onto the flamethrower of the Sergeant. Look at that, he's been dragged around the arena floor on the shell of the Sergeant. It is actually Dominator 2 gives a little shunt and a bash. But Stinger, do you see there? I think Stinger going around in circles. I wonder if they've lost traction, manoeuvrability in one of those customised motorbike wheels. The flame scorches Killerhurtz shell. Matilda comes in for a little bit of the action. But to me, you can just see the axe, but a little more of Stinger. In comes Dominator 2, Suicidal Tendencies in there as well, with the tracks moving away, so they're all right. We know Dominator 2's okay, because we can see the axe. We know Killerhurtz hanging on for grim death with the Sergeant, and flammable, it would seem, surviving the flame torch pit. Now, Matilda just gives Killerhurtz a little bit of a nudge up and over. Killerhurtz will have to use the big axe to right itself. Now, go on! John Reed! Great design this, great driving up and over, and that could be crucial. Killerhurtz could just have survived right at the end. Well, let's have a look at this, because this is the whole crucial aspect of this section. I think that initial onslaught put Stinger out. There you see at the top of your picture, Stinger not going anywhere. Killerhurtz took all the punishment. You see Stinger, it's not going anywhere, just round and round in circles. Stinger, for me, immobilised. We'll have to check on the official results. Suicidal Tendencies in play. This was great, wasn't it? And there you have it, confirmed. Stinger, yes, they were immobilised. Yes, they're out. And then there were 4. Spikasaurus, Killerhurtz, Dominator 2, and Suicidal Tendencies.
Stinger and the engineers team. Now, your robot basically is 2 robots, isn't it? With a receiver in each of these motors here, which works from the same controller.
Yep.
Which makes your driving a little twitchy sometimes. So what happens? If one of them goes, basically the robot's messed up, isn't it?
Yeah, it got knocked very hard right at the start by Killerhurtz, but that was good, because we were coming back, fighting back. But we got a spike. We got a spike through the tyre, came down here, and obviously these tyres always were the sort of potential weak bit.
They carry the aerials in there, don't they?
We hadn't told anybody that before, but that's it. It's taken out the aerial and just killed the wheel.
Ah.
No other damage at all. No other damage whatsoever.
Oh, it's
real.
This whole show, there's been no damage to this machine whatsoever, but a little bit of rubber and a little bit of wire. That's all it goes.
It's all about positioning, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to have everything secure, and we thought it would be secure in there.
We thought it would. It's under sort of tough rubber, but you know they've been spiked once or twice. We've had to do 1 tyre change earlier on, but we got away with no aerial problem.
Couldn't you have had the aerial inside the wheel?
Kills the reception. We've been around all sorts of different aerial systems, and this was the one that worked.
Right.
And unfortunately, yeah.
Until today it worked, yeah. We'll have to come back next year with a different design.
It'll be lower tyres, domes right up the top, just leaving an inch of rubber exposed. This whole thing was going to have 10-inch wheels, but we couldn't pack the motors in, so it had 12-inch.